Hello my friends. Today we are upgrading the Fortnite Zesty SMG. This is a mod I had been meaning to do for a bit. I thought it would be easy. I'd heard a Retaliator spring would go in here. I had an extra 7 kg spring, which is kind of what I've landed on as my favorite for the Retaliator. It puts it in the 110s, 120s pretty consistently, which is plenty for me. So I wanted to do that for this one. But boy, was I not prepared. This was not a good time to do. You're going to see later, after my preamble, I'll have the whole overhead mod guide for it. I don't know that I would recommend doing this. I will say as well that the spring that came in this Zesty was noticeably already beefier than a basic stock Retaliator spring, so I didn't get that much of a boost. And you'll also see here, this has kind of a weird short plunger tube. There's just not a lot of room in here. So I did get a boost in performance, but that boost is only about 10 FPS. And it took a lot of frigging around to get in this. You're going to see me open it up and close it and open it up again. I made a couple mistakes. I always leave my mistakes in so you can learn from me. I flipped the plunger tube over at one point by mistake and didn't notice. I flipped another piece over at one point and again didn't notice, thinking it would be easy, trying to be quick to hang out with my daughter and watch a show, and those mistakes cost me more time in the long run. So we did get this fixed. We are getting a bit more performance. I will give you some advice. If you have ever bought these elite darts that come in a pack thinking you'll use them for anything, they are... Oh, I'm so sick and weak. These darts are garbage. I was getting everything from in the 50s to 90 with these stupid elite darts. I'm throwing all of them away. I'm throwing all of them out. And that's not all the darts. For whatever reason, I tested this with some regular Nerf darts that came with the scavenger. There's just zombie strike darts, perfectly consistent. Even other Nerf darts, but these Elite 2.0 Nerf darts are just awful. I think they seem to wear faster. Maybe I'm full of it, but man, I'm throwing all mine away because you can't test with them. You can't do anything with them. I'm going to show you some numbers over the chronograph. I'm going to let you see how I made out. You can decide if this is worth it to do it or not. It's very difficult to get this back together. At least it was difficult for me. I'm sure other people would make it look easy. In the end, I do have a bit more FPS out of this. I'll give you some highlights. An upgraded catch spring did not seem to be needed. In fact, that seemed to cause problems. So regular catch spring is all I used. And that 7 kg wasn't giving me as much extra as I would have liked, but I wouldn't go more. Going more would just be so much harder to get this back together. And I think this blaster is so finicky in around here and in around here where it's catching anyway. I think you'd just be asking for trouble, my opinion. I'm sure people have done it. I'm just giving you one rookie's opinion. So all that aside, we're going to look at some chrono readings. I'll get into the mod. I hope you enjoy it. Let's run some darts through. 79. 78. 75. 80, 79, 82, duplicate 82, 79, 78, 75, I'm going to do one more clip, 76, 83, 93, 78, 79, 77, 78, 77, 79. That's it. I've been meaning to go inside of this one for a while. This hopefully won't be anything too complex. I'm just seeing if I can get a 7 kg Retaliator spring in this little Fortnite blaster to make it a little bit more zippy. Let's see if we can do that. Here we go. I did forget a screw. Always forget a screw, that's tradition. All screws, it should be noticed, seem to be the same length, which I always appreciate. All right, blaster top away. Little sight and jam door. I gotta say, this looks promising. This looks like it's gonna be easy. It even looks like it will take the same catch spring upgrade. So this might be for the first time in the history of upgrades, this might be a pretty simple one. Is that a bit longer than usual? I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna grab a Retaliator spring. Look at that stubby little tube. All right. Oh my goodness. What do we have here? Our worker 7 kg. Oh my goodness. All that looking. How did I miss that? Whatever I was trying to put in was super heavy. It might have been a 9 or even a 12. So, yeah, I should know better, but whatever. I guess I didn't. I'm going to take this catch spring off. Boop. Just like I was saying, here's a slightly upgraded catch spring. There we go. And this should be a little bit easier to work with, I would think. We'll find out. I always like to leave in all of my mistakes so you learn with me. I could edit that all out and make myself look way more confident, but I'm not going to do that. You guys can see me trying to put in an obviously too beefy spring, and then I'm trying to fudge it back apart. It does drive me a little bit crazy with blasters when they don't have like notches and stuff for springs that would just make reassembly so much easier. I mean, I know they don't really care about people modding. I mean, I know that, but man, there are blasters, Nerf blasters I've used that had little notches or little things that made them so much easier to take apart. And man, it's always appreciated, that's for sure. Yeah, that catch spring is now super heavy to the point where I kind of wonder if that's going to be a bit of a pain for me closing it up. Yeah, it's like you need to be Dr. Octopus to get this thing back together. Boy, this is not going to be a good time to close this up. Huh. Okay.
Let's do this. Okay.
All right.
So.
It felt like I needed an octopus amount of hands, so I have a helper.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry if this pops or something. I'm really sorry. I'm not that good at this.
No, you're good. All right. So, can you, yep, put that on there. That's perfect. I'm gonna slide this in first.
Okay.
There's a little groove.
Hi, fingernail.
All right, so can you put your finger on that? This is, okay, then I got this to keep it from going. Oh, you know what? No, it didn't actually go back together. They make it a little bit difficult, and I don't really quite know why this didn't... Oh, this is on the... This should be over here. All right, let's try that again. This goes in here. It goes like that.
I am ready.
I feel like if I had like a string would be a really good thing, because I could cut the string and then pull it out. Okay, so let's try
what
this.
type of string do you need?
I don't think I have what I would need. That was just a harebrained idea. All right, we've put a bunch of the screws in. Oh no, what's going on? All right, so I found out the reason why it wasn't working. Somewhere in the grand springing apart of this, I think I put this in upside down. This is why it always makes sense to know your blaster. When taking this apart, at some point, I managed to flip this plunger tube around upside down. And that's why this part here was on the wrong side, and it would not go and prime all the way. Oh.
Oh, is it working?
No.
You're still getting... Oh! No.
I don't know what... I actually don't know what's going on here. I guess good news is it was close.
Maybe I won't take the first shot.
No, it looks like... Okay. It looks like the... Alright, we did something wrong here. And by we, I mean me.
Do you need like a little piece of string?
No.
I found a piece of string.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Oh. Oh, no.
What happened?
I think I somehow along the line I put this in backwards as well.
Are you kidding me? What?
Yeah.
Why you put it in? It hasn't been a backwards day for you.
It has been a backwards day for me. Yeah. That's what it needs to be. And it won't go back too far because now this is catching on the sled. Oh boy. You know what? You learn from my mistakes. Again, always make sure you have things in the right position. So, I had flipped this over when everything came apart. So now everything is in the right position. This is now being moved by the sled. This little notch in this, and I'll take it out so you can see, needs to be up. I had it backwards and it was down, which was wrong. So we're doing that. That's okay. We're doing it and we are learning. I know I always end up, whether I want to or not, I learned so much about the mechanics of all of these blasters. And I mean, that's kind of partly what it's about, isn't it?
How's it going over there?
Well, I don't know. Something's not quite right. I feel like the catch spring was actually putting too much pressure, so I went back to the original catch spring. I'm going to get my assistant to give me a hand one more time. And I gotta say, I'm getting close to regretting that I ever decided to do this tonight.
You could just leave it where it is.
Oh, I could, but I'm kind of
You don't
into it
want
now.
to. Okay, here I go.
Okay, you got it?
And
Okay, there you go. Here you push your pressure down like that. You got it? All right.
make sure nothing's backwards.
I don't think anything is. It's a fair question, though. It is a fair question. It looks like, oh, you know what? That wasn't quite where it needed to be. It is now, I think. Okay. I'm telling you, getting everything to stay where it needs to stay in this thing is a nightmare. It's sure made things easier in a Retaliator that there's a cap on this. I don't think I ever realized just how much easier it makes it. But wow, does it ever. This is just miserable. This is awful. I've never... this is crazy. This is crazy to try to put this back together. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely the most miserable thing I think I've tried to put back together. Just one little nub. If they just had one stupid little nub on that, my whole life would be easier. But they couldn't do that for me. They could not and would not just put a little tiny nub. I don't know why, but my duct tape has like no adhesion. I don't know, guys. I definitely would not recommend doing this. That is for darn sure. Because this is just awful. All I want to do is maybe make that stay down there a tiny bit. Just for a second. Just while I do this. Well, I hope I got that on camera because I never want to open this blaster ever again. Don't like screwing and unscrewing something this many times either, because I just feel like it can make it so hard on the blaster. I hope that trigger is in the right place. I mean, it looks like it is, but it's so hard to tell. Oh, thank goodness. That was truly, truly awful. Oh, there we go. And that's it. That's the mod. At least that's how I did it. Drop a comment if you have advice for me or what I did wrong. I look back at it now. I do wish that I paid more attention to maybe checking that seal on the O-ring, maybe lubricating it. But honestly, once I got this back together, I'm never taking it apart again. So I got an extra 10 FPS on average. I'll take it. I'll take it, and I'm never touching it again. So until next time, happy Fortniting.